Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tuesdays with Cory. As you can tell, I'm not in Whitehall today. I'm at the wonderful Daydream Acres with this fabulous person next to me, Shannon Barnette. Shannon, tell us a little bit about yourself and why we should listen to you.
Oh gosh. Well, like Cory said, my name's Shannon Barnette, and I am the owner here at Daydream Acres Homestead. I have been a gardener all my life, but I have been an educator about plants and mostly herbal things too. I work at the Ohio Herb Center in Gahanna, but I've been doing that for over 10 years now, so kind of an all-around plant geek. And as you can see here, I grow a lot of my own stuff and just love plants. So.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, let's dive right into it. Tuesdays with Cory.
This is in no way a representation that all Tuesdays will be with Cory.
And what do we got in front of us today?
So here I have some other tools of the trade if you are wanting to get into gardening.
Yeah.
Of course, there's some good pots. I'm a big fan of recycling, so these are some older hanging basket pots that I had, and I of course saved them because they're really sturdy plastic pots. But the key with any container garden is drainage. That's the big make or break moment for container gardens is proper drainage. Without it, you can kill a fair number of plants and wonder what you're doing. So drainage is always important, and with that, of course, is the soil that you put in that is going to be one aspect of the drainage within the container garden.
Sure.
Is to have soil that has good organic matter content to it. So when you break up this, you can see that it's kind of got a really nice dark color to it. It's fluffy. You can even see little bits of branches or barks,
Woody debris.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is all stuff that is going to feed your plants with nutrients when you put them in here. And having all of those aspects within a soil help it drain and help the plant get adequate moisture to live properly.
I know this is a plant, but what is it? What do we have in front of us?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of herbs here. So I really like having potted herbs around, especially on my porches in the summertime because they help repel bugs. So yeah, with some of the certain plants, like if you pet this one, it kind of has a lemon scent to it. This is lemon balm. So this is a really great plant to also make tea from, or you can even dry it and burn it in a fire, and that helps keep bugs away too, so it's great for repelling mosquitoes that way. But it can kind of be aggressive when you put it in the ground, so I thought putting it in a pot and kind of containing it a little bit would be the best option. So
Can I get a waft of that?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's pungent.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's one of my favorites. But like I said, it can get kind of out of control. So containing it is a good option.
Yeah.
So we'll put it in these pots here. And yeah, so I don't know, with soil that's loose enough, you obviously don't need to use your soil knife or any sort of tools really. The soil should be movable for planting. And of course, when you are planting, you just want to have a space that's slightly bigger than what you're putting, the plant that you're putting in. And sometimes, as you can see, like there's these roots coming out the bottom, they can kind of make it difficult to get the plant out. So a gentle squeeze and kind of turning it upside down into your hand is always a good option. And then sometimes plants can be really root bound, and that's when the roots kind of wrap around the pot and can kind of choke themselves out. So if that was the case, you just kind of want to gently loosen them before you put it into the pot. And that's basically planting. You just want to fill in around it. And I like to kind of do odd numbers typically when I'm doing container planting. The plants I've found just kind of fill out better in the space. So then the next one that I'm going to put in here by it is a sage plant. This is another herb that has a very pungent aroma. You can use it for cooking, or you can burn it. Again, I like throwing this and bonfires to keep bugs away. But yeah, so this is another perennial. So both of these plants are perennials, and they'll come back next year. I just would have to throw these flower pots like in the garage or something with a little protection for winter. So
Yeah.
Doing perennials, especially things that are either, you know, tea or something that you can craft with or do something else, you know, culinary wise or whatever. They're nice to have on hand once you get in the habit of utilizing them. You can kind of feel spoiled having these plants around all the time. So this is a tarragon. This is another herb. This gets a little bit taller, so this will kind of fill out this planter as well.
Multi-level.
Multi-level, yeah. So that's something to always keep in mind when you are doing the containers. Is I like to have a variety of colors and textures, different leaf shapes, sort of keep it interesting and hopefully have a bunch of different bloom types and types.
And these aren't going to compete against each other, like the root systems are.
These ones will get big. If I'll probably transplant these out of here like early fall probably, and divide them up. But yeah, because these can get big, so these will be some mama plants that I'll be able to divide up and plant elsewhere.
That's very cool. Yeah, it's that easy. Pull in the soil, pop it right in there. So Shannon, this interests me. I love this. It all seems much easier, I think, than I thought it was. It's very intimidating, especially being here. You've got just a ton of stuff, but let's start simple. So I live in a small apartment, and I have 3 cats in my apartment. What are some like easy things that maybe I could grow, or that just like families in general could grow that like doesn't seem as daunting?
Yeah, well obviously to keep the cats pleased, you can grow catnip. It does really well as a container plant.
Okay.
So honestly, it's related to, it looks very, very similar to this lemon balm here. And I grow a pot of it for my cats and just put it out, you know, in their little play area, and they just will go crazy and enjoy that. Cat grass also does well in containers to please the cats. But as far as families go, of course herbs are an easy one in containers. As far as vegetables, I'm a big fan of growing tomatoes. There's some great compact varieties out there now of tomatoes, as well as peppers. We use a lot of peppers here in our house. Another one of my favorites to grow are onions or chives. These are some little babies here now, but so these are related to garlic and onions. The greens are edible, and you can harvest the bulbs once they're larger. They will bulb out, but this is one of my favorites because you can tuck them in amongst any of your little container garden plants and harvest them whenever you need, whether it's the green or the bulb. So it's a fun edible to add into.
That's very cool. Yeah. Well, that's all the time we've got today for this episode of Tuesdays with Cory. I hope you all learned something about gardening. It's so easy that you can do it inside your own house. If you have any questions, their information for Daydream Acres is in the comment section below. Feel free to email them or get in touch with them on Facebook for a little more information, or if you have more questions. For our next episode of Tuesdays with Cory, we are going to be back at Daydream Acres for, let's say, a more advanced course. If you're interested in planting outside, maybe growing some more difficult vegetables, or just wondering what vegetables should I grow in the winter as opposed to the summer, all that information will get covered in our next video. So I hope you had a great time. I'll catch you later.
Tuesdays with Cory.